Good day to all. So this is the part 2 video for the first unit. In this video we are going to see about the uh, vector calculus. Here we are having some definitions. First is a scalar. It is a quantity whose value is represented by a constant magnitude. It can be a positive or negative. So first, if you are having a scalar, you can see example as temperature, which is defined for any city. It is going to be a constant for a particular given time. So this is called as a scalar. It should have only magnitude. If you are defining a vector, it is a quantity which have both magnitude and specific direction in the space. So a vector quantity have magnitude and direction. So if you are defining a vector like this, it should have a magnitude as a vector, magnitude of the a vector. Direction may be from the starting point 0, 0 to the ending point. It can be 1, 2. Like this you can define for any vector. So if you are having a magnitude and the direction, so it is going to be called as a vector. After that, if you are having then we are going to give as a field. A field is maybe a vector or a scalar, which is a quantity whose value is defined at each and every point in the region of space. If you are considering a region of space, it may be anything. Region of space may consist of some scalars or vectors. If you are having a scalar, then at every point of that particular region of space, if you are defining a scalar, then it is going to be a scalar field. If you are having a region of space where you are going to define a vector at each and every point, then it is going to call as vector field. So for an example, if you are having a scalar field, example, room temperature and density of any material. In case of room temperature, if you are having a room, it may be a region of space. If that room is supplied with any heating equipment like heater or AC, then that particular room may be supplied by a heating material. So if that particular heating material is injecting heating energy, so at each and every point of that particular room temperature may have the heating energy is supplied by the heating element. So the room temperature may be varied for a given point of time. So for a given point of time, the room temperature may be varying. So if you are defining a room temperature at each and every point during that particular time period, then it is going to be called as scalar field. You can also define a density for a material. So if you are having water, if you are ஒரு பொடியை நீங்கள் கலக்குறீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, அந்த பொடியோட டென்சிட்டி வந்து அந்த மெட்டீரியலில் கண்டிப்பாக மாறும். ஸோ டிபெண்டிங் அப்பான் தட் பர்டிகுலர் டென்சிட்டி ஆஃப் தி பவுடர், யூ கேன் டிஃபைன் தி ஸ்கேலர் ஃபீல்ட் as a density of material. Vector field is defined as each and every point in that particular field, and that particular vector field must be defined as a multivariable function, because a vector field, if you are defining, means that particular vector field will have vectors at each and every point. So that particular vector must be defined as a multivariable function. If you are having a you can say example as a gravitational magnetic field. If you are going to define a gravitational field, means Likewise, you can define like this. Now you see, this is a two-dimensional field. You are actually standing here. You are throwing a ball into a sky, so it will create a trajectory like this. So in this trajectory, you can define each and every point a vector, because it will have a direction, and it will have magnitude, and it will have velocity also. Here, if you are defining a particular trajectory, means it should be a multi-dimensional function. In this vector field, if you are having vectors to be defined, that vector should be defined in a manner that ratio of the length of one vector to another vector should be accurate. They had not said the length of the vector should be accurate. They had said ratio of the length of the vector should be accurate. Likewise, they had said. So if you are defining a vector, the first point means if you are defining the same vector in the second point, the ratio should be accurate. So if you are defining unit vector in a direction, in this direction, so if you are having the magnitude of 1, so and also the next point, if you are defining a magnitude as 2, the ratio of this 2 are 2 by 1 is equal to 2. So this ratio should be accurately defined, so that you can find the velocity of that particular ball from point to point. You can define. So in a vector field, each arrow not only represent the velocity attached to it, but also it gives the information how the neighborhood particle around it moves. So if you are defining actual length, you cannot define the neighborhood. I think you can understand. For length means you have to compare. So if you are comparing, then you can define the neighborhood also. But you are defining the length means you cannot define the neighborhood. So if you want to represent a vector field, means you should define the neighborhood. Likewise, you should define the cumulative length of the particular vector field. So example, gravitation magnetic field, voltage gradient, temperature gradient in a soldering iron tip. You can define vector field examples like this. Next, vector. Before going into details of the vector algebra, I am going to define what is the orthogonal system. So orthogonal system means it is a vector which can be represented in any curvilinear system or a Cartesian coordinate system, which may be orthogonal, which is one where the coordinates are mutually perpendicular. So in vector algebra, if you are going to solve any problem, you should have a coordinate system. That coordinate system basically going to be orthogonal system, because the coordinates are mutually perpendicular to each other. So if they are mutually perpendicular to each other, you can define unit vectors for that particular system. So as a unit vectors, in the x direction ax cap, in the y direction ay cap, and in the z direction az cap. So these three vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, so you can say them as orthogonal systems. If they are going to be orthogonal systems, then you can define a vector, b vector, called as bx ax cap, by ay cap, bz az cap. So how we are defining this particular vector means, here you can see example. Here is a point. This point may be x1, y1, z1. Consider. Second point x2, y2 z2. Consider if you are defining a vector between these 2 points means how you are going to define a vector x2 minus x1 for the x direction, y2 minus y1 for the y direction, z2 minus z1 for the z direction. So since it is a line, you can define a line function as x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 plus z2 minus z1. You may know. So this x2 minus x1 may be defined as a magnitude for as a bx, y2 minus y1 as by, z2 minus z2 as a z2 minus z1 as a b2 bz. So you can define any vector with the help of these unit vectors with their magnitudes like this. So if you are defining a vector like this, then you can define a magnitude of that particular vector as magnitude of b vector modulus of b vector is equal to root of bx square plus by square plus bz square. Also you can define unit vector for that particular vector. Also you can define unit vector as vector divided by its magnitude. So unit vector for this vector ab cap is equal to b vector divided by root of bx square plus by square plus bz square. So as a example sum, you can do like this. So if you want to find out a vector rpq vector as a position vector, say find the position vector position vector rpq means you can define vector rpq as two vectors because you are supplied with 2 points p and q. You are going to define the position vector between p and q as rpq. See here you can see a difference. If you are going to define rpq means then that particular vector should originate from q to the p, so that you are going to define rpq. If you are going to define rqp means it should originate from p to the q. So you have to know the difference. rpq means the second one should be the origin, first one should be the destination. So destination, origin, like this you have to define. If you are going to define this rpq, then first if you are going to represent like this, first the origin minus destination. So origin is rq minus rp. So how you are going to define this rp and rq? So for a p vector, if you are going to define this rp, then you have to first mention what is the origin. So this is the origin vector 0, 0, 0. From the origin, if you are drawing a vector to the p point, means it is rp. From the origin, if you want to define a vector, then it is rq. So what is rp and rq? Rq is equal to 2 minus 0. Likewise we have defined already x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Likewise we are going to define here also. So 2 minus 0 ax cap minus 2 minus 0 ay cap, 1 minus 0 az cap. Likewise you can represent here also. So 1 minus 0 ax cap, 2 minus 0 ay cap, 3 minus 0 az cap. So you can find RQ and RP like this, and next RPQ is equal to RQ minus RP. So you can find the answer for the RPQ.